Hey, it's Judy, Sadie's mom, with a quick tutorial showing you how in Inkscape to personalize my Swash ornaments. The first step is to duplicate whichever design you want to work with. I'm using the layer, but it works the same if you're doing the single layer ornament. I duplicate it just so I don't mess up my original. Type my name using the text tool, and then select the font that I want to use. There's actually multiple ways to do everything in Inkscape, and there's not enough time here to go into all of that, but basically you could use the font selector up at the top of the screen, or you could use the text icon along the top of the screen and select there. For some reason, that's the one that I prefer. Once you've got your font selected, you can go ahead and either resize with the font sizer or do what I do because I'm impatient and just go to your selector tool and resize it. I like to get rid of the fill because it's easier to see the lines. And the way that I do it is on the bottom where all those colors are. I hold down Shift, I'm on a PC, and select red as my outline, and then click the X in that top bar of colors to remove the fill. That allows me to see a little bit better how the lines are overlapping. From there, I look at the character spacing. I try to get it as close as possible with the icon on the top bar. And because that generally does it a little bit uneven, once I've gone as far as I can, I change the text to a path, object to path, and then object ungroup because it initially does it as a group of paths. And then I can manually adjust the spacing. Now you'll see that I'm playing around with it a little bit. I want to leave a little bit of space so that I can make the letters a little bit thicker. I'm going to outset them so that it doesn't cut too thin and char or burn to a crisp and break off. So just fiddling around one letter at a time. I'm using the arrows on my keypad. Once I'm satisfied with them all, I'll hold down the Shift key and select each letter. And then go to Path, Outset Path. I'm just going to do it once on this one because they're pretty thick. I did a bold font, so then I'm going to go to Path Union and connect the letters so that any place that is overlapping, you're not going to have an additional cut line. Next step is to just make sure that it's aligned correctly, centered within the ornament layer. So again, I'm going to play around a little bit with the sizing, sometimes stretch it out, usually stretch it out a little bit. You want to make sure that the top and bottom of the name is overlapping the lines on the ornament just a tiny bit so that you don't wind up with letters cut out. And you'll be able to see it once you combine it together. I usually try to center it manually or with my eye because sometimes the way the letters are different widths. If you just center it based on exact size, it looks off center to the eye. In this case, I was pretty close. Here I'm going Object Align and checking the center, and it looks pretty good. So once you're satisfied with the placement, you're going to select the ornament and the name and do Path Union once again, and you can see that all those other lines disappeared. But I just undid it because I actually like to see some definition on my names. So I go ahead and right-click and duplicate the name, change that outline color to teal. Now I'm going to go back and do Union again. And now I've got a score line that I can put over top. And once I do it, I've got the outlines of the name as well as the cutout. One note, I find that if you score before you cut, you get a lot of charring. So when you put it into the Glowforge interface, set it to cut first and then score. Because rather than taking the time to just create the little lines. I'm scoring the whole name. And that's it. That's all you have to do either the layered version or the single layer version. And then if you wanted to do the engraved version, all you do is remove that top scored layer and change it from a red outline to a black fill. Get rid of the outline altogether. And you've got your engraved option. And that's it. Pretty quick and easy once you're familiar with Inkscape navigation. Thanks for watching.